Please, turn off the ad block, subscribe, and share. Links will be below for anyone wanting to support this channel.
Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechReviews Nope, and today I'm doing the 6th universal application video. In this video we're going to get into anchoring. Now, as far as the anchoring goes, it's not exact science, and I'll get more why, but I want to do a quick shout out because without this person, this video wouldn't be existing and I'll still be stuck. So a person over in Stack Overflow helped me out on this problem. Their name is Justin XL. So thank you, Justin XL, for helping me out in this one, and I really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure the viewers do too. But anyways, so as far as things goes, the one thing that we found out is if you go to the main page, if you take off the horizontal alignments on the split view, the stuff should work. If you have that on, it messes up all the other pages. So that's the thing that you need to do in case you've been following and making your own app as we're going through things. Keep in mind all this is on GitHub. So if you want to take a quick look at it, copy the code, modify the code, do whatever you want, go ahead. It's there for you guys. Plus, on top of that, this application, once it's more so done, it will be on the marketplace and you can actually play with it for real. So as far as that goes, let's jump into anchoring. So the anchoring portion is, and I already got our stuff done, so we don't have to worry about that. But the code is pretty simple. If you go and make grids, so what is a grid? You got a row grid at left and right, column grid up and down. And if you make grids, then you can actually put objects like buttons, text, and so on into a given grid, and it will stay within that grid. Depending on how things are is depending on what exactly will happen. So for example, with the web view, which is in the top left grid, how I had that set up, it'll stretch and collapse depending on if I'm resizing. I'll show you that in a second. And as far as, in fact, let me load it so it's loading. But as far as that goes, another thing to keep in mind is, let's move that to the side until we're ready, is you need to define the size of the grid. Now, I wouldn't ever say the size is a given pixel. The reason why is the form factor may be vastly different between one device to the next, so you don't know what your user is actually using. And keep in mind, universal application is across from phones to Xbox, so TVs. So it's very difficult to figure out if things will work out properly. And that's the thing that we're going to cover later on. And I'll try to do adaptive triggering on that. So with that, use auto or star when you're defining the width or height. And the reason for it is it will automatically adjust to whatever's recording. The auto will adjust to just enough. The star, it will take as much as it can. So as far as that goes, once if you want portions, want a given grid to take a given portion, put a number in front of the star. So for example, if I put, I can't do it because this is going, but if I put a number in front, it's like 5 or something, it'll move, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's get into the application so I can show you that real quick. So this is what you're seeing, and as you can see, the web view on the top left, the text, and this thing right here showing you how stuff works. And if you notice, it's expanding and contracting and doing all of that. Now there's not much I can do about this web view. That's more Yahoo stuff, the glitching type of thing. But the text, that's on purpose where it's not expanding and contracting. That way I can show you what happens if you don't auto things, which this is on a particular size, whereas if we auto things, we can actually tell it to expand or contract. So let's close this out and stop that. So now again, if I go to the width and go something like 5, you can see that it wants to take that much space. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, as far as the columns go, each column, each definition adds an error column. And what some people do to center things, absolutely, they use 3 columns or 3 rows, or a mixture between 3 columns and 3 rows, and it helps with centering things. But this is a trick. The sizing is a trick that you need to keep in mind. So as far as the columns go, they are numbered. So 0, and same thing with rows, 0 always starts on the top left. So the top area is 0 for row, the left area is 0 for the column, and it goes along the axis. So for columns 1 to so on, and for rows, 0, 1, so on. And for this, for rows, it's 0, 1, so on. So if you want to put something over here, then you need to put in column 1, row 1, which you will see in a second. In fact, you'll see right here. So we're at grid row 1, column 1, row 1. So it puts it right there. So as far as that goes, one thing you may be noticing is things like the web view and some other things, they are on auto, and this is very important when you deal with the height and width. So I showed you what it looked like when the text is on a strict size, strict pixel size. So let's get into what it looks like when it's not. So let's play this again. And what's going to happen this time is you're going to say that there is a different effect overall. Now, as far as things goes, again, let me know what you think about the app so far. Obviously, a lot of these have placeholders, but as you can see here, it's trying to redo as far as wrapping the text. Obviously, if we get too small, the text is going to blend into each other, and we got to fix that if we want to do that. Personally, because there's not much text there, I don't think it's worth fixing that a little bit. But if we were doing something a lot bigger, like a paragraph here and paragraph there, we can use something called adaptive triggers, and this will modify things where we can say if something gets so small, then it'll put a margin in automatically and do all this weird stuff, which is nice, because when you get into different device sizes, what would end up happening is you can use adaptive triggers to say, okay, the screen is a 50-inch TV, therefore this click button can't be this small, it needs to be much bigger. So yeah. Now, as far as that goes, that's a huge thing to keep in mind. Let's reverse both of those. But that's all you got to keep in mind, is keep things in grids. And by the way, if you want to color a background like this, just make a grid, put background and whatever color you want, start typing out whatever color you think, and it will try to do autocomplete. And you can just take a look at the backgrounds in live, and just make sure you make the column and row as whatever. Keep in mind, this will override whatever I put down here. As far as if I put this as column, in fact, let's try this, row 0, you can see that this row says 1, but this one says 0, and it is overwritten because this takes priority. So that's very, very important in itself. So when you're dealing with these grids or with things, like say for example with this will take priority and this will take priority. So when you're doing this stuff, what I'll advise is keep in mind, if you don't want to type out text box 1, 2, 3, 4 button X, Y, and Z in grid and column whatever, you can just put it all in one grid, and that way you have to do less typing. It makes it easier on you. Again, this has been Craig Bennett, founder and owner of TechView Nope, and hopefully you found this one interesting. And if this has helped you out, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to help us grow, then feel free to go to the Patreon campaign and donate there. But if you have any questions or comments or anything else, then feel free to leave that down in the comment section. And again, thanks Justin XL for helping me out on this, because I wouldn't have found that one line that would cause this entire thing. Because what was happening before, by the way, so you know, is everything, this entire frame was aligning left, which makes sense now that I look at it, but at the time it's literally one line, and I thought the problem was in here when it turned out to be the main page itself. But anyways, again, you know what to do if you have any questions or whatnot. You know what to do if you like this video. But hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.